What is going on, everybody? This is Sam Anderson, president of Enzo Media Firm. And today, if you're just getting started with video, I'm going to show you a few items that you might want to pick up in 2019. So this is a mistake when I first got involved in video. I completely neglected audio. Now today I'm mic'd up with a Rode mic wireless system. If you know anything about videography, video production, you know the name Rode very well. But if you're just getting started, you don't have the finances to invest in equipment like that. So one that I recommend is the Movo wireless mic set. Now the cool thing with lavaliers, if you're not getting into boom mics and things like that, and just doing interview style type stuff, a lavalier is definitely the direction you want to go. Now these are pretty cheap. If you go on Amazon, I think I got this one for about 10 bucks. Great thing is with the new connections that Apple gives you for your receiver to connect to your iPhone, you can connect this directly. So if you're doing Facebook Live, if you're just recording video directly on your phone, it allows you to get great audio recording, not using the body of the cell phone, and kind of gives you a professional feel. Now, if you're past recording video on your cell phone, I completely understand. You're looking for a decent camera body that's going to give you a professional grade quality type video. One of my favorite cameras for a long time has been the Panasonic G7. This thing's incredible, guys. Shoots in 4K resolution. I'm a big fan of the Lumix Panasonic line. All the cameras that we use currently, like right now I'm shooting on a Panasonic Lumix GH5. We used the GH4 before that, but even before that, I was using the G7. Sturdy little body. This one's actually for sale. I kind of broke the bottom of this, if you can see, but still works. So if you're filming yourself, one of the great things is that you have a flip out screen right here that you can actually use to see the other way and be able to focus yourself while you're recording. This was probably the first professional camera that I used that had a mic output. Definitely want to invest in a camera that has a mic output. You do not want to use the camera body audio. It is horrible. Sometimes you can get away with it. Even the more expensive cameras that I've used, like the Ursa Mini Blackmagic Pro 4.6K, whew, some of these cameras have a long name. Even using that was a $6,000 camera body. Did not like the in-body audio that it gave. Always use an external mic with that. This camera is also really great for photography. So I don't fancy myself a photographer. We have photographers on our team. So generally if there's a photo shoot for Enzo, I'll send one of them out. I'm a absolute last resort. But I have gone out with this camera and gotten some great photos. They have some settings here on the dial that you can get real creative so you don't have to do a lot of stuff in post. Gives you that creative type feel. And there are like 10 different scenes that you can select from. So great camera to own. Beautiful thing about this camera also is that it comes in under 500 bucks. Now, if you're gasping at that price, you're not ready to move up into professional grade videography. This is by far the cheapest end that I've seen for a camera that delivers this type of quality. Next up is stability. So whether you're using an iPhone or you're using a professional grade camera body, stability is key. If your footage is all shaky, it doesn't matter if you're shooting in 4K, 6K resolution, it's gonna look horrible. So the first thing I recommend investing in is a tripod. Of course I would go. Very nice and light, so if you're on the go, this is a great tripod to have. You don't want a big heavy tripod if you're moving to and fro. Like for instance, what I'm filming on now, this is a big heavy tripod that I generally keep here in the studio. But if I'm doing something on the fly, I normally go with this. I think this tripod was about 80 bucks. I should have cut off my notifications. All right, next up are lights. Again, this is something that I completely neglected when I first got into video. Any given time I could, and I still do, I always try to get natural sunlight. So if you're filming a subject by a window, obviously if you're outdoors, natural light is generally the best. But you do not want to forsake professional grade lighting. Now this little light here, I got this off of Amazon for I think 35 bucks. This has been an amazing light. So you guys see how bright that thing can get? I mean, this thing gets really bright. Like you can see the type of contrast that this gives you. Lighting overhead, it gives you I mean, lighting just makes a huge difference. Like, let me show you. So like I just cut off the main key light there. Using this is a much bigger light. See how that gives you a different feel for what you're trying to do? Something way more dramatic under here. So lighting, don't forsake it. I love this one because it's very mobile. I got one of the fat batteries on here, but you take this off, like see how thin that is, like easily fits in my backpack. I never have an excuse not to have a light on me. You have a mount that comes with it that slides right on top of your camera, but you also have the 3/4 inch thread that you can put on basically any stand. Normally has that 3/4 inch thread on there. But 35 bucks, I mean, I love this thing. And last but not least, lenses. So if you're upgrading to a professional camera body, you don't want the lens that comes with this. Those are called kit lenses. They're generally pretty bad. I'm not gonna get into stuff with aperture and f-stop and all that kind of stuff, but this is my go-to lens for a far majority of the shoots that I do. This is the Rokinon 12mm lens. I think the f-stop on this is 1.2. Which means that your lens is super wide open. It's able to absorb a lot of light. This is also a wide angle lens, so you're able to get a lot more in your frame. But I love this lens. I think this lens started out at, I think it's like $279. Again, I'll put it up on the screen so you guys can see it, but this has been a solid lens. I probably only owned this for, I don't know, last 3-4 months. But any real estate shoots that we do, walkthrough videos, I always bring this lens to get that wide angle look. You can really go crazy starting to invest in lens. You don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Find you something that has a good focal length. So on the lens I'm shooting now, this is Sigma Art lens. I believe that's 18 to 35mm. This is probably our best lens. Allows you to zoom in, zoom out. This is what you call a prime lens. It has a fixed focal length, so you can't zoom in and zoom out. If you want to get closer to a subject, you have to move closer to a subject. But this has been a solid lens, but it all depends on the type of videography that you're doing. So if you're doing just straight interview style, you're going to be, talking on camera, giving people tips, similar to this type of video. I probably wouldn't go with a wide angle lens. You're going to want to go with something that's has more of a zoom lens. It's just what I found. So those are just a few products I recommend just to get you started in the videography world. Obviously, if you want to take things to another level, our team here at Enzo Media Firm is always happy to help you. But these are just a few tips to get you started and hopefully take your video to the next level.